Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the previous video, we have completed expanded player part of this project. If you have not seen that video, just go to description and check out the link. In this video, we are going to work on the create playlist as well as playlist selector part. So let us start with that. Let's go to the VS Code, and inside this one, we have to go to the core, and then we have to go to the services, and we have to go to the playlist service.ts file. Scroll to the bottom, and then here we have to create a methods. So create playlists, and in this one we have to pass the name, and it should be of a string type. Then description, it could be a string or null, and then is public, and it should be of a boolean type. And then image file, and it should be of file type or it could be null. And after that, here observable, and then we are expecting playlist, so import this model, and then curly brackets. Inside this one we have to pass the parameters, so let params new http params, this one, and after that dot set, and the first one is name, comma, and name, and then we don't have to put semicolons, just move to the next line. Set is public, comma, okay, it should be in single quotes, so just close this one like this, and then is public dot to string, and after that put semicolon, and if description exists, right, description exists, so then we have to just append, so params is equals to params dot set and description, and then pass this description field. And after that, here we have to create const form data form new form data, this one, and if image file exists, then form data dot append, and then we have to pass the image file in this one, and then image file this like this. And after that, here we have to write return this dot http dot post url, and then playlist, here we have to write playlist, close this one, and parenthesis backtick, and then dollar symbol, and curly bracket, and this dot base url, and after that curly bracket slash, and create playlist, after that comma, and form data, and then we have to pass the params, so params, this one, and after that parenthesis we have to write dot pipe, and we also need to tap or update the value, so pipe parenthesis, and then we have to write a tap, and after that over here this dot playlist subject update dot next, we have to just call this one, and for that put semicolon over here, and this create playlist part method is ready. Now we have to write to add song to playlist, that we can do it from the my uploads, right, playlist, and inside this one playlist id we are expecting, and that could be of a number type, and then song id, and that is also a number type, and after that observable, and the message response we are expecting response, this one, and then curly brackets and const params, and then new http params, this one, dot set, and then we have to pass the song id, so song id comma song id dot to string, and then put semicolon, then return this dot http dot post method we have to call, and then message response, close this one, then backtick dollar and curly brackets and this dot base URL, and after that slash add song to playlist. This one we have to pass, and inside the backtick slash we have to pass, and then we have to pass the playlist ID, curly bracket and playlist ID. And after that we don't have to pass the body, so here just put null and then comma, and then we have to pass the params, so params over here, and then put semicolon. Save this. We don't have any. Now let's format this one, format this and save this one. After this we have to go to the shared folder. No, not shared folder, we have to go to the features folder and right click, open integrated terminal, and here we have to generate a component. So ng generate component and create playlist list, press enter, and it will create a component. You can see create playlist is created. After that we also need to register this one with the app routing, so just go to the app routing.modules, and over here we have to just add that whatever we have created it, so just put a comma over here, and then path and single quotes and create dash playlist, and then put component, and then we have to pass the create playlist and just format this. And we don't have to can activate with admin card because this is available, features available for all the types of users, so that's why we don't have to add this one. And once this is added, the next step is to go to the layout.html, and in that basically we have to add, so just go inside the shared folder, then we have layout.html, and then inside this one we have a nav, right? So navigation options are there, so let's scroll above over here. Okay, so just after this here we have to add a navigation button, so let me copy paste this particular lines of the code, and let me copy this one, or we can go with this one, go with this home button, because in this there's an admin icons and all those things, you have to remove it, right? So I don't want to do that, so just copy this home button exactly same. After that here we have to change create play list, and here the nav item will be same. Here the icon we have to change is to add, and after that here we have to change create play list. Save this, and if I go over to the UI, I'm able to see that button, and if I click on it, I can see that create playlist works. And over here inside my playlist section you are able to see one, because I have just for testing purpose I have created this. So let's get back over here, and now we have to write the code to relate the create the playlist, right? So let's go to the that particular component, so create playlist.ts file. So inside this one we have to write the logics related to it, so let's write here, and most of the logics we are going to copy paste it from our my uploads, because there's a on file select, all those methods already exist in that one, so we're going to use those from there. So let's write the variables first, so playlist form and form group, this one, and then uploading false, and after that image file error is equals to single quotes, and then image file, and it should be file or it should be null, and by default it is null, and image preview URL string type null and null. After that here we have to create the constructor, so constructor, and then here we have to write private form builder, so form builder, and then form builder here we need to import, Okay, it's showing error because we don't have curly brackets over here. And after that, here private play list service, and over here play list service and private router and router and private notification service notification service. And after this, here we've tried this dot playlist form is equals to this dot form builder dot group and parenthesis curly brackets, and after that here we have to pass the name colon and square brackets and blank by default, and then we have to add the validators. So validators or dot required comma validators dot no, not this one, validators dot min length, and we are expecting at least 2 characters, and then validators dot max length, which is 100 characters. And after that here we have to pass the description, and in this one the this will be exactly same, so I'm just copy this colon till this end part, so over here, and here I'm just increasing the size to 500, and over here I'm making to 10. So minimum it should be 10 or maximum it should be 500. Okay, after that the next one is public, like we can make our playlist public or private, so that purpose it is, and after that colon and save this. After that here we need a few methods which is already present inside the upload song, so just go to the upload song.ts file, scroll down, and the first part is ng destroy. So let's copy this ng destroy, this part only, not the complete part. So copy this one, go to the playlist, and just after this constructor paste this one and close this particular one. One more, this bracket need to be added over here because this is the part only we have copy paste, and this one is additional which is closing this one. Okay, save this, we don't have any error. And after that here we have to scroll down, and here we have a method name on image file selection, right? Selected this one. So this one we have to copy, and just after, okay, let me copy paste this particular method first. So only this method on image file select, just copy this one, go over here, just after this one just paste it. So this is the method we have just pasted it over here, select this one, save this. And after that again go back to the upload song.ts, scroll down, and then we have a method which is clear image file. So we have to just also need to copy paste this line of the codes over here, get back to the create playlist, just after the method we have to paste this one. So these are the 3 methods we have to copy paste from there. Okay, first one is ng on destroy, then this one, and then last one is this one. And if you want to implement, you can just write here implements on destroy, save this. Now scroll back to the bottom, and then we have to write the logic stated to on submit. So on submit, and inside this one this dot uploading is equals to true, and after that const, and then name description and is public is equals to this dot playlist form dot value, not a valid value, and after that this dot playlist service dot create playlist, and inside this one we have to pass one by one the values. So this dot, sorry, first the field is name, then description dot trim and is public, and then this dot image file, I'm expecting it should be not be null, so like this, and subscribe. Okay, this, okay, so there's a 2 times I have added this, so just remove once and error is gone. and after that parenthesis, curly brackets, and then next, put semicolon over here, and after that over here next, then playlist, and curly brackets, and after that here this dot router dot navigate, and we are navigating to a page which is does not exist as of now, and in the next video we are going to implement that, but just write it out over here so that we don't have to come back to this particular page. Single quote slash playlist, and after that inside this one column, comma, and playlist dot id, you have to just pass, put semicolon, and if any error occur we also need to handle that. So error, and then const error message is equals to error dot error question mark dot message, and or failed to create playlist, and please try again. So this is the message I want to show, and in this one this dot notification services dot success, and then we have to just pass not success, here it should be error, and here we have to just pass the error message, and this dot uploading is equals to false. And after that the last method which is of this create playlist, which is related to validation. So get is form valid, and it should return boolean and curly brackets, and then return, and this dot playlist form is valid, and not this dot image file, and not this dot image file error, this one. Then save this. Now let's also format this and save this one again. Now we have to copy paste the CSS part of this one. So let me copy paste the CSS, and let's go to the CSS file, paste it over here, save this. Now go to the HTML part of this one, and over here also we are going to copy paste most of the logic from our my uploads. So let's go to the my uploads page, and not my upload, sorry, upload song.html, and the first section till this, okay, this section we are going to copy paste exactly. Let's go to the, not this one, let's close others, and then open create playlist.html, and remove this one, paste it over here, then close this div. Okay, this is the div we have to close only. Let me format this one, and over here we have to change this text to the create playlist, and then here we have to just change the message, which is organize your favorite songs into a custom playlist. Save this. If I go back to the UI, right, I'm able to see this particular message, I'm able to see the subtitles, so it means it's working as expected. After that, outside of this header section, right, inside the upload container, here we have to create a form. So form, and form group, and equals to playlist list form, and then close this one. And inside this one, first we are going to create a div class, and content section, and it should allow us, actually whenever you open your VS Code, it takes few seconds to load this one, so sometime it's just take time. Okay, and after that just close this one, and playlist details. Now here inside the form, first input field which is like playlist name, right? And in the upload song section also we have the same thing. So here you can see this is the input group, right? I can just copy paste this particular one, which is input group, and in this one we are going to do the necessary modifications. So over here we have to just okay, paste it over here. Okay, before that pasting this, I think I have just made a small mistake over here, and it should be, the name should be not inside this content section. It should be in h2 and class and section title, and inside this one we have to write play list details, and just after this one we have to paste this particular one. Let me format this. Let me remove unwanted space. Okay, so it's throwing the error, so we don't have to worry about it because we have just copy paste, so the namings will be not gonna match, so that's why it's throwing the error. So this div container close over here, which is content section, and h2 just going to close over here, and then we have just added the input group which we have pasted it, copied from there. Now here we are going to change it one by one. So first, which is name, so here we have to change this to name, and here we have to just write play list, and then name over here we have to write, and here also id, it should be name, and then input field, and here we have to just write everywhere you see the song form, right? Just control F and search that, and after that you will see this icon, right? Click on it, and then you will get an option to like replace. So play list form, you have to just write, and inside over here you have to replace all. So just write that, so you can see every place it automatically gets replaced. Now error is gone, but still it will be a problem because you can still, you can see there's a title is written over here, so we have to also replace those, but we will not going to search and replace it because multiple other places the title would exist, so we have to go one by one. So after that, this name, the type input field will be there, and after that playlist dot get, and here we have to just write name. Here just copy this name, and over here we also need to pass the name. And after that, the form control name is also a name type, and then here placeholder we have to just write enter playlist name. And after that, the next, which is a required error message, here we have to just change this to name. Here we have to change to name, and here we have to just write playlist name instead of title. Playlist name is required. After that, the next field is over here name, and over here also name, and then here we have to just change name must be at least 2 characters, and over here we also need to change to name here also, and here name cannot exceed 100 characters, which is correct, right? Format this, save this one, and let's get back over here in UI, and here you can see it's visible, right? Exactly same. If I go to the upload song, you can see the same design. You can see over here also these are the same, right? There's no difference. And if I write over here playlist name is required, if I write something you can see this is the error. If I write over here, you can see, right, this is working as expected. If I write multiple characters, it should started doing the name cannot exceed 100 characters. So the validations, everything is working as expected. Now let's get back over here. Now the next method which next we have to copy is related to description. So we can still copy paste this same field, but it should be a text area, right? So let's go to the upload song and let's scroll down and just verify that this is a text area or not, and label input, this is an input field, right? So but the validations and other things will be remain same. Let's go back to the create playlist. We don't have to copy paste directly, and we are going to just copy paste these 2 lines for now, these 2 lines, and we are still in the create playlist page, and just after this particular div close, right, we have to create a div, paste that and close the div first. Okay, so now if I save this, we don't have any error, and over here this particular input group div is closed, and here we have to change this one to description, and here also we need to change to description. And after that, here we have to create a text area. So I'm just going to create the text area over here, and text area and ID, that this is description, double quotes closed, and then class input field and text area field, and after that class dot error. We also need to pass this class dot errors in this one, and equals, and then here we have to write playlist form dot get. Let me decrease the size of this one, and let me press enter over here, and get, and then we have to pass the description, and after that question mark dot invalid, this one, and playlist form dot get description, and then question mark dot touched, and then after that we have to pass the form control name, and that should be a description field, description, and then we have to pass the placeholder, which is add a description, and it should be minimum 10 characters, and then we also want to disable equals uploading, and then rows is equals to 4, and close this one text area, and after that here we have to create a div. So let's create a div class and field footer, this one, and then close this one, and inside this one we have to show all the errors. So let me format this, and let me copy paste this all this spans, which is error message like description is required, at least characters, and all those things. So these three I'm just going to copy paste from over here, and let me paste it over here. Let me format this, and now here we have to change it. So first which is span class error message, and then playlist.get, here we have to write description, and then we have touched, which is correct, and here also we have to write the description, and here we have to change this to description, and is required, and after that here we also need to change this to description, and here we have to change this to description, and here we have to change this to description. Why we are not getting suggestions? Description must be at least 10 characters, so just write 10 characters, and after that the last one is also like description, here also description, and here also we have to just pass this description. Theme cannot be exceed 500 characters, here we have to write, and just after this span, the next one, which is to show the count, which is char count, and then close this one, and playlist form dot get, and parenthesis, and description, close this one, parenthesis also, and question mark dot value dot question mark dot length, if not then put 0, and then curly brackets closed, and then save this one. Let me format this also if it make any changes. So now this is the text area part is also completed. Now here you can see, okay, one more thing here we have to add. Just after this curly bracket, put slash and 500 characters, so that they can see the counts. So here you can see we are able to see the counts over here. Now if I write here, you can see that it's getting changed. Okay, so if I move this, you can see description must be at least 10 characters, and you are seeing this error. And now let's remove, get back over here. Now our content section part is completed, which is this one, this div. So this div is going to close, and just before a form close tag, right? Now we have to create a section which is related to the media. So div class, and this is content section, and then close this one, and then h2, and then class and section dash title, and which is cover image. And after that, over here we need to write the logics related to the playlist cover, right, or input field to select the image. For this, we already have the logic exist in our upload song.html. Get inside the upload song html, and over here the first, which is related to the input file, which we don't need it, and the second one, which is related to this particular one, which is input group, right, which is related to the cover image. I want this one, so I'm just going to copy paste this complete method, not method, sorry, that this particular tag which is related to the cover images. So I'm just going to copy paste this one and going back to the create playlist, and I'm going to paste it over here. It will throw error for sure, but oh, we don't getting an error, but still we have to change little bit of text so that it should work fine. Okay, so over here the first is input group label, this is correct. Over here we have to change playlist list cover, and then file upload wrapper, which is correct, and image, this one is also correct. On image, this is also correct. File input, right, this one is also correct. Label, this one image file. Okay, this one on image file select, this one is also correct, this one is also correct. And inside the div we have mat icon, file icon, image file, add photos, file informations, image file, choose cover images, which is also correct, and 5 MB, which is also correct. And just after this one, here if you want to add the message, you can add it. So recommended, and square image at least 300 x 300 px. Let me decrease the size of this one. Let me format this. So this is the message, just we want to change it. If you're not going to want to add this one, still it will work fine. There will be no issues. It's just we are showing to the users to the UI. And after that, this image, this is also correct. Clear image and uploading buttons, close. This is also seems correct. Error messages, this one is also correct. Library cover image, everything looks good now let's go to the UI, and here you can see, we can see the cover image, and you can see the playlist cover, which is correct. And if I click on this one, I'm able to see the images, and let me select one, and here you can see cover image preview, you can see over here. If I click on this one, I'm able to remove this. If I select anything different, I'm able to show over here, and you can see the JPG and all those things, text and everything is working as expected. Now let's get back over here to the code, and now our this media section part is also completed, which is this content section, which is going to close just before the form. After that, here we have to create a next div. So div class and content section, then close this one, and then h2 class section title, and then here we have to write privacy settings, and after that here we have to write div class and privacy option, this one, close this one, and then we have to show a label, and then class and checkbox options or container, this one, and then close this one. Then we have to write here input type, and this will be a checkbox, and then form control name is equals to is public, and after that here we have to pass the disabled, and which is uploading, and then close this one. After that here we have to use the span and then class check mark this one, close this span, and after that span class checkbox label, and then here we have to write make this playlist list public, and outside of this particular label here we have to create a paragraph. So para class privacy description, and over here close this one, and then you have to write public playlist list can be viewed by anyone, private playlist are only visible to you. So this is message I want to show to the user. After that, this content section is also completed. So this one will be closed over here. Then here we have to add a button, right? That is like to create a playlist or vice versa, right? So that we can copy paste from the upload song.html. So scroll to the bottom, and then we will have this action button, right? So just copy paste this particular one, get back to the create HTML and create playlist.html file and paste it over here. Let me format this. And after that here we have to do some modifications. So action button over here and btn cancel, and router link here we have to just change this to home page, and after that uploading, which is correct, cancel, which is also correct, and btn close. On submit method we have to call uploading or disables, this is also correct. 20 spinner line library add. Over here we have to just change the icons, which is library underscore add, and they're uploading, and here we have to just change this one to create playlist and save this. And let's scroll down. We don't have any error as of now. Just do some minor changes over here. So here we have to just change this to creating, and one small over here you see private playlist. So here just add yes and save this. Now let's get back over here, and now it's time to create a playlist. So here I'm going to create btech days playlist, or play, just write like this, and then here I'm just going to copy paste the same name with the description, and after that here I'm going to select a cover image. So let's select this one, and then I'm going to make it as private and create playlist. So you can see I'm able to see the btechdays playlist, and if I add we route to the home page, but expected page should be like view playlist page, but as of now that path does not exist, that's why it route to the this particular page. And here you also notice that this particular section is refreshed whenever a new particular create playlist is added into it, right? So this one is also working as expected, and also our create playlist is also working, right? And now we have to write the logics related to the like let's go to the uploads, my uploads, and over here when you click on this one, right, it should open a dialog, and from dialog you can select particular playlist so that the song should be added to that particular playlist. So we call that as a playlist selector. Okay, so that's a part we are going to cover it now. So let's get back over here. Let's go to the features shared, and okay, we have to go to the shared folder, and inside shared folder right click and open integrated terminal, and then first we have to generate a component which is ng. So generate component and play list selector dialog, and then press enter. So it will this is a common component across the multiple places we are going to use it. It will also gonna use in home page. It also might be used on the search page. So the component is created now, and we don't have to import or do anything for this one, because in the app routing module, because this is a common one which is going to be used. Now we have to go to the my upload section, and in that one we have a method, right, which is related to do. So let's go to the features, and we have my uploads. Go to the TS and then search for to do. Okay, we already had this particular method, which is open add to playlist dialog. This one, just remove this to do, and then we have to write here this dot dialog dot open, this one, and then we have playlist selector dialog and comma, and then curly brackets, and inside this one width, and then here we have to pass 450 px comma, and max, and width here we have to pass, which is 90 vw, and then comma, and panel class, and then we have to pass custom dialog and container, and then data you have to pass as song, and after that here we have to put the semicolon, and then just format this, save this. So we don't have any error as of now. Now let's go to the UI, and over here inside the my uploads, if I click on this particular one, it opens a dialog which is playlist selector dialog box, right? So now we have to write the logic related to this, so that we can select particular or add particular song to the one playlist. Now let's get back over here. Let's go to the shared folder. Inside the shared folder we have playlist selector dialog, and go to the TS file. Let me close this one. Now here we have to write playlists, and it should be of playlist array type, and by default it is blank, and after that loading true, and after that loading more play lists is equals to false, and then adding is equals to false, and then error message blank, and put semicolon, and then selected playlist ID, and we have get the number, or it could be by default null, and over here we have to write null, and after that here we have to write current page is equals to 0, and current page size is equals to 10, and after that hash more play list is equals to true, and after that here we need constructor, so create constructor, and then private dialog reference, and then mat dialog reference, and in this one we have to just pass the playlist selector dialog, and then close this one and put comma. Okay, let me create a curly brackets over here. Let me put a space over here too, and after that here we have to write at the rate inject. We have to import it from the core, and then we also need to import this mat underscore dialog data. This one we have to import from Angular material dialog, and after that public data, and then song dialog data. This one we need to import, and after that private play lists service, and then we have to import playlist service, this one, and then we have to use notification, so private notification service and notification service, this one we need to import, and after that here we have to implement on init and destroy. So implements on init and on destroy, this one we need to import, and then first we have to create ng on init, And okay, so after this we have to go to the upload, or not upload, or we have to go to the sorry, not html, ts file, layout.ts file. In this one we have few methods which we have to copy. So if you see, right, ng destroy and this setup infinite scroll, as well as load playlist, as well as load more playlist. So this four you have to copy paste from here, and we are inside the layout.ts. So let's copy paste this all this method. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 method. So this 4 method I have just copy paste. The methods I have already given you the name. So just after outside of this ng on it, paste those, and let's format this. Save this one. We will face some error because some codes does not exist. Okay. So we have added that. Let's get back to the layout.ts file again. Scroll up. Scroll up. Okay, here this two lines of the code, as well as this particular scroll trigger playlist, this one we also need to copy. So just copy this part of the code also. Get back to the playlist selector dialog, and just before this constructor, right, you can paste that. And we have to import this one. So just import this view childs, import this one, and let me format this. And here you can see most of the error is gone now, right? Let's get back to the top. Okay, so here we are at ng on in it, right? And here we have to call a method which is to load the playlist. So load playlist, this the API we have to call. So after this one, the ng destroy, which is correct, we don't have to make any changes in the destroy. And after that, the setup playlist infinite scroll, which is also correct, we don't have to make any changes. Now move back to the load playlist list, this one. In this one we have to make the changes. So this current page is correct, this one is also correct, and in this one here we have to use loading. Loading is equals to true, and then we also need to reset the this dot error message is making as blank, put semicolon. After that, here we have to call this dot but this particular variable does not exist, and we also don't want to search anything over here, so just remove this particular one. And I think that is a optional one field. So you can see the search is an optional field, that's why we don't have issues. Just pass the current page and page size. And after that, this dot playlist, which is correct, response dot content hash more element, which is we are going to check it from here. And then we have to just check this dot loading is equals to false. That is correct. After that, inside this one, here we have to just change this dot loading. Here we have to write loading is false. And over here we have to write this dot error message is equals to failed to load play lists dot please try again, we have to write, and then put semicolon, and then this dot notification services dot error, and then here we have to write failed to load playlists dot please try again. We have to just pass this message and put semicolon over here. And after that, over here this is load playlist part method is completed. Now scroll back to the load more playlist, and this is the first line which is correct. Then load more playlist, which is true, correct. Current page, which this is also correct. And we don't want to search anything, so just remove this part, save this. And we don't have any error, but still we are going to validate each line. Next, this dot playlist, which is correct, this one is also correct, and this one is also correct, and other things looks good. So this method till load more playlist is correct. Now the next method we are going to write here is related to add to playlist. So let's write here add to playlist, and here we are going to write here playlist, and this one is also a playlist type. And inside this one we have to write if this dot adding return, and this dot adding is equals to true, and this dot error message is equals to blank. We are going to set, and this dot selected playlist ID is equals to playlist dot ID we have to pass, and this dot playlist service and dot add song. This is the method which we have created just in the start of the video, this video, right? And in this one we have to pass the playlist dot ID, and this dot data dot song dot ID. So this the value or song which are selected that has been injected over here from the this dot data. If you see here inside the constructor, so we have this dot data, so from that it has been injected. Now get back over here, and after that here we have to subscribe to this, and parenthesis curly brackets, and after that here next, and then response, and then arrow curly bracket, and after that here this dot adding is equals to false, and const message is equals to response dot message, or we are going to write here, or we are going to show added to, and in the double quotes we are going to show the message which is curly brackets and playlist dot name, this one, and put semicolon at the end. After that this dot notification services dot success, and then we have to pass the message over here, and then this dot dialog reference dot close, and then here we have to just expect success which is true, and playlist name and playlist dot name here we have to pass, and just close this one. After that we also need to handle the error, so error, and over here error, and inside this one we have to write const error message is equals to error dot error question mark dot message, and then we have to pass a message like failed to add the song. By default we are going to set, so backtick, and here we have to write failed to add to, and then double quotes, and then we have to pass the song name, so dollar, sorry, not song, playlist name, so dollar playlist dot name, and after that the double quotes put dot, and the song may already be in the this playlist, and then put semicolon over here, and also dot at the end before the backtick, and after that this dot error message is equals to error message, and this dot notification services dot error and error message, and this dot adding is equals to false, and this dot selected playlist ID which is set to null, put semicolon colon, and after that the next method we have to write is to on close, so on close, and this dot sorry, not this, like this dot dialog reference dot close, that's it. Then save this. Now we have to copy paste the CSS because TS part is completed, so let me copy paste the CSS part over here and save this, and let me close all these files, and now we have to go to the playlist selector dialog over here. Now let's remove this, and let's write here div class and dialog container, and close this one. After that here we have to write h2 and mat dialog title, and close this one and add to play list, And after that, here we have to create mat dialog content. So mat dialog content, close this one. And inside this one, first we have to show the song information, right? So div class song info, and then close this one. And then we have to show the image. So img src, and here we have to pass data dot song dot image url, and then we have to pass the pipe, which is auth image for authentication, and then we have to pass alt, and then data dot song dot title, and after that here we have to pass the song thumbnail, so thumbnail css. And after this we have to create a div class and song details, and inside this one we have to show the artist name as well as title. So here first we're going to show the song name and the class song title, this one, and close this one. After that, curly brackets, and over here we have to write data dot song dot title, and after that paragraph class and song artist, and after that data dot song dot artist. And so after this we have to create a divider. So just after this song information we have to create a div class, and here we have to write divider, this one, and then close this one. And after that here we have to show the loading state. So div star ngif is equals to loading, and then class loading container, and then close this one. And mat spinner and diameter is equals to 40, and color ancient, and then close this one. And after this mat spinner, I also want to show a text which is related to the loading. So loading text, and here we have to write loading play lists, and this loading state part is also completed. Now the next part, which is related to the error. So now div star ngif not loading and error message and playlists dot length is equals to 0. In that case we have to show this, and then we have to write here the css error container, and then close this one. And then we have to show the mat icon, which is class error icon, and close this one, and error underscore outline. And after that here paragraph class and error message, and then we have to show inside over here also error, or not in like this, in the like curly brackets, error message, and put space over here. And then we have to show a button inside over here. So button mat raised button, and color ancient. And after that here we have to on click we have to call a method which is load play lists. This method we have to call, and then we have to show a mat icon. So mat icon, and it should be a refresh icon. And after that we also need to show the text. So try again text we want to show to the user so that they can retry to call the same API. And this is related to the error state. Now the next section is related to the playlist. Okay, we are getting error. Okay, over here it should be p should be small, I think. Now error is gone. And after this particular div, the next one is related to playlist. Now here let's create a div star ngif not loading, and playlists dot length is greater than 0, and then we have to pass the class which is playlist lists container, and then close this one. And after that, here h3 class playlist header heading, this one we have to pass, and then we have to write here select a playlist, and after that here we have to create div class playlist, and list we have to pass this one. And after that here we have to show a button, so star ng for loop, and let play list of playlists, this one. And after that here we have to pass a class which is playlist options, and then we have to pass a class dot adding is equals to selected playlists id is equals to playlist dot id. And after that we also need to disable this, so disabled is equals to adding, this one. And after that here on click we have to call a method which is add to playlist, and inside this one we have to pass the playlist, and then close this one. And inside this one we have to create a div, and we have to show the list of playlist name and public private, those we have to show over here. Then here we have to write div class and playlist list option content, and then close this one. Then we have to show a icon, so mat icon, and then class and playlist icon, and then here we have to write library underscore music, and after that here we have to write div class playlist info, this one. Close this one, and then span class playlist name and curly brackets, and then here we have to write playlists dot name, and then next span class playlist dash privacy, and over here playlist dot is public question mark single quotes public, and after that colon, and then private. And after that this playlist informations div will be also closed, and this one playlist content, let me format this once. And so now we have to write the logic outside of this one, which is playlist option content, and then we have to write logic related to a spinner, so mat a spinner and star ng if is equals to selected playlist id is equals to playlist dot id and adding, and then we have to pass a diameter is equals to 20, and after that class playlist spinner, this one, and then close this one. After that here we have to show a icon, so mat icon and star ng if is equals to selected playlist id is not equal to playlist dot id and or not adding, and then we have to class add icon and then add. So our button part logic is also completed. Now let me format this again, and now we have to write the logic outside of this particular button, and we are gonna still inside this particular div which is a playlist list and outside of this particular button, and here we have to write div star ng if is equals to not equal, we have to write the conditions, so loading mode playlists, and then class loading more container. Close this one. Mat spinner diameter is 24, and close this one. And after this div, the next div is related to scroll bar trigger. So div hash scroll trigger play lists and class scroll trigger, this one, and then close this one. Save this. Now our this playlist list part is also completed. Now scroll back to the, now not scroll back, just after this playlist one, div closed. The next part is related to empty state. So div star njf and not loading, and playlist dot length is equals to 0, and there's a no error message, then it's a empty state. So empty state, and after that here we have to show mat icon class empty icon. Close this one. Library underscore music, this one we have to pass, and after that here we have to pass h3 and no play lists yet, and after that here we have to pass p create a play list to start organizing your music. And after that, this mat content part is also completed. Now we have to write related to button. So just after this mat dialog content closed, we have to write here mat dialog actions and align end, and then close this one. And over here button mat button, and on click we have to call a method which is on close method, and over here disabled whenever it is adding, and class close btn, and then close this one, and here we have to just write close. Save this, and or okay, we are getting error over here. So playlist, so over you see right here we have to just add a s at the end, playlists, and save this. Now we don't have any error. Now let's go to the UI, and here we are. Now we have to click on this particular button, and here you can see a pop-up has opened just now, and when I click on this particular song, song is already in the list. Okay, so basically I have already created the QIT, we have already added the song, that's why the error you see. If I click on this one, it should not throw the error, and here you can see song added to the playlist successfully. It means it working as expected. And if I try to add this one and this one in this one, still I'm working. If I try to add it again, it will throw the error. So it means that this part related to the like adding songs to the playlist is also working. So yeah, this is all about create playlist as well as playlist selector part. I hope you guys like this video, so please hit like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.